Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil. Amen.
Your right, my right, our right, everybody's right is protected. Human Rights Radio 101.1, redefining broadcasting.
Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC), Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Matters Commission (ICPC) to investigate sacked Babachir and Oke. Army ends Operation Crocodile Smile 2 in Niger Delta region. Residents of Balkuchi community to cry lack of potable water. And on the foreign scene, EU to allocate 40 billion euros to Africa in next budget. Sports, Raw calls up Mikel, Musa, 22 others for Algeria, Argentina. All these and more, stay with us. Hello and welcome to the news at noon. I'm Peter Kundum. Now the news in detail. The presidency has revealed that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, will go ahead to investigate the sacked Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir Lawal, and former Director General of the National Intelligence Agency, NIA, Ambassador Wale Oke. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Malam Shehu Garba, in a statement, said the president is committed to the rule of law and will not shield anyone from investigation. According to him, the president expects the EFCC, the ICPC, and other agencies to proceed with ongoing investigations. And away from that development, Her Majesty Queen Maxima of the Netherlands is expected in Nigeria on a 4-day trip. The Dutch Queen is visiting in her role as the United Nations Secretary General's Special Advocate for Inclusive Finance for Development, UNSGSA. The visit will focus on the possibilities of accelerating the process of improving access to financial services, according to the press release sent out by the Royal House of the Netherlands. And on to security matters, the Nigerian Army says it has ended its Operation Crocodile Smile 2, meant to check crimes in the Niger Delta region. According to the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, the 21-day operation was felt in the region and states under the 81 Division. While disclosing that some of the soldiers will be redeployed to the northeast, he said that the exercise has helped reduce militancy, illegal oil bunkering, kidnapping, and pipeline vandalism. He also noted that the Nigerian Army would sustain its tempo on maritime ways in other parts of the Niger Delta to deepen security of lives and property in the areas. And now to our special interviews. Education tourism will not end in Nigeria unless public office holders are made to start enrolling their children into Nigerian schools. This is the opinion of some who spoke with our correspondents in Abuja, and while reacting to what they described as the sorry state of the country's educational system, they called for a deliberate effort to turn things around for the future of the nation.
If we want to improve our educational sector, we have every resources, every power, every ideology to improve it. put the right people that are supposed to pilot that particular educational sector. If he's a professor, let him be a professor that is academical sound.
To improve our educational sector is making sure that all the necessary facilities are in place so that our children will also enjoy the facility being put for us here. We don't have the qualified hands, so employing the qualified personnel to also put in place the adequate facilities to make sure that our educational sector is being improved.
Our education not scatter. We dey suffer on daily basis. Even if you want to go to school, you go to government schools, they say they get lab, but nothing there inside. You hear a student say, I study chemistry in school, or through the secondary school, I and chemical, I don't see anyone. But they read them for book. If you're looking at my government, you see them sending their children abroad, Cambridge, Oxford and co. Some of our politicians here have universities outside that they built with their money that is functioning perfectly more than the ones we have here. So you study things that you can practicalize on your own, individually at home. If you put more trust on this, they've been failing us.
Nigerians have continued to raise awareness on the need for government to establish more medical facilities to meet the growing need of the people. Reacting to a recent report on the state of the country's health infrastructure, some Nigerians noted that the shortfall in medical facilities in the country have resulted to the death of many. They appealed to government to ensure facilities are put in place to make medical care more accessible to all Nigerians.
Know that my mom was diabetic, so she had a crisis, and then we live in New Nyanya, so we rushed down here and we were rejected because they said there was no bed space for us. She was almost born. I expect that there should be alternative arrangements and all of that, but notwithstanding, it could also be that maybe they have more than they can chew. Who knows? If government can actually make available more hospitals or health centers where people can actually access more. If only the government can also help to make sure that health facilities are available in some of these other areas.
To have to provide enough facilities for the hospitals to accommodate everybody, because if they can go outside abroad to go and treat themselves, they are supposed to provide for the masses here.
From yesterday, we've been told that we can't actually get bed space if we don't come early, so we are here waiting and hoping we'll get space. We got here like around 7, so we don't know when she would actually see the doctor to know when we can actually get the bed space. Government can actually invest more on building more hospitals.
The government to expand the hospital and have enough space so that there will be accommodation. If there is a space to build another structure, they should do so.
Inadequate infrastructure in health sector is something that has affected people in such a way that you go to hospital, they say there's no space. Before you move the person to the other nearby hospital, another thing may rise. The patient may die. Anything can happen.
And moving on to other developments, the people of Balkochi community in Kuje Area Council have said they feel separated from other residents of the Federal Capital Territory because they lack basic amenities that could make life better for them. Human Rights Radio correspondents visited the community where the people said the only source of water is a river, which is not safe for consumption.
Source of water here is on river, and the river here is not clean because there are Fulani herdsmen. That is where they take their cow to drink water, and that is where we too, human beings here, drink water, which is not good for human consumption. And what we want government to do is to provide borehole, tap water for the community, because it's affecting people here. Most especially, you see people coming here with running stomach, dysentery, diarrhea, which is affecting their lives. So we want government to help their community and provide water.
There's no water here. We go to stream and fetch water. Some have well, some houses, and some are not. So that is the problem for water that we have here. And we need government to come and assist us because we are all human beings.
You don't get water for this village. They are go river. There is no get anybody that can help you people that is there for this village. They are suffer. Oh, everything is mosquito. They are disturbing people here. Secret is there, but you know they are just hospital, no doctor. No government can help you people here.
We no have road and water. We no get water. From river we dey go fetch water. Even I drink one and for river we dey fetch am. Children dey sick because of water wey dey fetch for river. Government can provide them for us.
And the rising cases of baby abandonment across the country has become a major source of concern for most Nigerians. Nigerians have described as inhumane and ungodly The act, often carried out by young mothers, which exposes newborns to health risks, including deaths. In this interview with our correspondents in Abuja, the people called on government to mete out stiffer punishments on anyone found guilty of the act. They have also given a word of advice for parents.
The best thing I think Nigeria in particular should do is to educate people on what to do. In those days, what we know to be seen. These days is no more a sin. You see a girl of 13 years making calls and telling her boyfriend I love. What does she know about love? Does she know how love acts? So I think to those mothers that have thrown their kids outside, they should know that every child that comes to you according to the Bible is a blessing.
It's not good for a young girl to get pregnant and then carry the child for 9 months and then abandon the child, because if you say that you are abandoned by your mom or you were aborted, what would have come out of you? You think about it, then you look back, because if you waste somebody's life, God will not be happy with you.
Children, as they say, they are gifts from God. Even if it comes unwantedly, try to keep it, try to save it. I think he's going to use something, because I have a sister that had an unwanted pregnancy. Today the boy is the light of the family.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1 and it's the news at noon. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, more on the news.
This is Human Rights Radio 101.1. Redefining broadcasting.
Welcome back. This is the news at noon on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM. And outside Nigeria, the European Union intends to allocate 40 billion euros towards Africa in the next budget, according to the European Parliament President Antonio Tajani. Speaking at a press conference, he said development opportunities and investments in Africa are essential in the fight against undocumented migration to Europe. According to him, words won't convince migrants to stay at home. We must give them a chance to have a decent life. In sports, team captain Mikel Obi, Ahmed Musa and Ogenyo Nazi head the list of 24 players which Super Eagles Technical Advisor General has invited for the team's upcoming 2 matches. The Nigerian senior men football team visit Algeria next week in a 2018 FIFA World Cup qualifying match, and also take on Argentina in Russia 4 days later in a friendly. Goalkeepers Ikechukwu Ezenwa and Daniel Akpeyi made the cut alongside defenders Abdullahi Shehu, Leon Balogun and William Ekong, as well as midfielders Wilfred Ndidi and Ogenekaru Etebo. All invited players are expected to arrive in a camp in Morocco on Monday, November 6, before the delegation flies to Constantine on Thursday, November 9. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Youth and Sports says it has spent about 3 billion naira on the Super Eagles qualification for the 2018 FIFA World Cup in Russia. The permanent secretary of the ministry, Olushade Adeshola, made this known while speaking to newsmen during the Federation of Public Service Games monthly Keep Fit exercise held at the National Stadium, Abuja. Reacting to the controversial bill before the National Assembly seeking autonomy for the board of the Nigeria Football Federation, NFF, he also insists it is not logical for government to hands off on administration of football in the country, saying it remains the financier of NFF's activities and programs. And time now for a recap of the stories. Earlier on, we told you that the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the ICPC is to investigate sacked Babachir and okay. Nigerian Army has ended Operation Crocodile Smile 2 in Niger Delta region. The residents of Bakuchi community have decried lack of potable water. And on the foreign scene, European Union to allocate 40 billion euros to Africa in next budget. In sports, Royal calls up Mikel Musa, 22 others for Algeria, Argentina games. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget, you can also connect with us on social media. Go to Facebook and follow us on Human Rights Radio 101.1 FM and on Twitter at HRRA Radio. I beg your pardon, at H Rights Radio. Have a great day ahead. I'm Peter Kundum.